need to have our morning conversation. And today there's just so much we need to discuss because these men who do this, who born you? What am I talking about? This gentleman called in yesterday and he just absolutely stunned me. Listen to him.
Singehoa bibi yangu angekuwa somewhere in Mariendene, a place called Mariendene in Makueni.
If you did not marry her,
I picked her. I always tell her that.
You always tell her that?
Yeah, and she admits.
What are you telling her that for? Do you know where I picked you from?
Because the kind of life she's living. Kama singemchukua angekuwa naishi mahali na kase uko Mariendene, kasema mchanga uko tu uko kwa ndani ya kichaka. I changed her life.
Oh, and you remind her?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Kiangai. How dare he? How dare he?
You have a right.
To do what?
Wajua watu sahau. By the way, do you know ladies forget, Ladies forget.
Must you tell her?
No, it's just a kind reminder.
Ati wewe unajua mahali nilikutoa. Oh my God. Who are these men?
Ni kama watu wa insurance. Wanakaa wakikukumbusha. Inaisha.
Iko karibu kuisha. Who are these men who remind you of where they picked you from? Igua.
Singehoa bibi yangu angekuwa somewhere in Mariendene, a place called Mariendene in Makueni.
If you did not marry her,
I picked her. I always tell her that.
You always tell her that?
Yeah, and she admits.
What are you telling her that for? Do you know where I picked you from?
Because the kind of life she's living. Kama singemchukua angekuwa naishi mahali na kase uko Mariendene, kasema mchanga uko tu uko kwa ndani ya kichaka. I changed her life.
And you remind her?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Are you one of those women who are reminded where you were picked from? Hey, guy.
Inaitaka ndio balance. Hata mimi nakumbusha.
Are you one of those women who are reminded constantly? The way he picked you up from the dumps, akakuosha, akakusafisha, akakurembesha. Guy.
Hata yeye anajua.
Ebu give me a call. Let's discuss this kind of men who never lose an opportunity to remind you where they took you from. Me on here can kill you in your sleep. 0711-046-105 is my number. Hit me up on the socials at Classic 105 Kenya or at It's Maina Kigeni. Hashtag don't forget It's Maina Kigeni. Who are these?
Singehoa bibi yangu angekuwa somewhere in Mariendene, a place called Mariendene in Makueni.
If you did not marry her,
I picked her. I always tell her that.
You always tell her that?
Yeah, and she admits.
What are you telling her that for? Do you know where I picked you from?
Because the kind of life she's living. Kama singemchukua angekuwa naishi mahali na kase uko Mariendene, kasema mchanga uko tu uko kwa ndani ya kichaka. I changed her life.
And you remind her?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Who are these men? Are you one of those ladies who suffer this shame and belittling in your house?
Kaa tu vile Obama alichukua Michelle.
But it was Michelle who picked him up. 0711-046-105 is my number. I need to hear from you this morning. Talking about these men who never miss an opportunity to tell their women where they got them from. Tabia mbaya hii.
Singehoa bibi yangu angekuwa somewhere in Mariendene, a place called Mariendene in Makueni.
If you did not marry her,
I picked her. I always tell her that.
You always tell her that?
Yeah, and she admits.
What are you telling her that for? Do you know where I picked you from?
Because the kind of life she's living. Kama singemchukua angekuwa naishi mahali na kase uko Mariendene, kasema mchanga uko tu uko kwa ndani ya kichaka. I changed her life.
And you remind her?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Elvis Kibet, good morning. You're throwing a cat amongst the pigeons. You're saying it's not only women suffering, being belittled. Ask these men who married women with higher standards. Guys, are you also going through the same thing? Me, don't know how you can look at your woman and say, yo, if it wasn't for me, you'd be a beggar by now, guy. Who does this? Seriously. Brian Mikali, the engineer, good morning. Semena, these ladies, most of the time, always forget penye huwa tunawatoa. Unatoa mtu ushago, unamleta CBD, anang'ara, anaanza kukudharau. Kai. So you must remind her. And then? Emmanuel Kipsang. I just got a message from you. Imehepa imeenda wapi sasa hii? Because you had said something very important. There you go. Some ladies go the extra mile until their men cannot even talk in their own house. Can you imagine a whole CEO kugombanishwa like a kid? They need to be reminded on a daily basis. Guy. Kelvin Otoka saying women need to be reminded where we picked them up from. Her friends are single, stressing and struggling. They must be reminded on a daily basis. My God, who does this? Hello?
Mama.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I listened to that guy yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people, you take someone to school.
Yeah.
And then unamtoka.
Yeah.
As in, why should I be reminded of my past?
Can you imagine they are saying that it's a must they remind you?
Ah, come on. Hata sisi tunawachukua kama hawana kitu.
Bas.
Maina, now I understand why a girl is taken to college.
Yes.
Anamaliza.
Yes.
Alafu anamtoka.
Anamtoka anaenda.
Anaenda zake.
Now I also understand it. I understand it, kabisa. Has any man ever reminded you where he took you from?
Yeah, not once.
What do you mean not once?
Yes. Not once, Maina.
Why would he remind you?
I don't understand. Maina. Hata fadhali ningemtoka pia mimi.
But are you still with him?
Wasiwasi.
Does he still remind you?
Yes.
Hey!
Na tutaendelea hivyo hivyo.
Kinani? Hivi hata yeye tulitoana chini huko. Have a good day.
Have a good day, my darling. Guy. Okay, what is the point of it? No, what is the point of looking at your woman and saying, you, if it wasn't for me, you'd be dying somewhere in a bush. You'd probably have married a man with mapengo. Anambea na kunywanga changa. What kind of things are those to tell your woman? No, seriously. Guy, ladies, what's your story? I need to hear from you. So when men act like this, surely.
Singeoa bibi yangu. Angekuwa somewhere in Mariendene. A place called Mariendene in Makueni.
If you did not marry her?
I picked her. I always tell her that.
You always tell her that?
Yeah, and she admits.
What are you telling her that for? Do you know where I picked you from?
Because the kind of life she's living. Kama singemchukua angekuwa naishi mahali na kase uko Mariendene, kasema mchanga uko tu uko kwa ndani ya kichaka. I changed her life.
Kiao. And you remind her?
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Parenting this in a million reasons why a woman should work, so that when a man comes to her, she will find a well-established woman who he will have no power to demean. Sometimes men act as if they are gods. Ken Dego, a very good morning to you, Ken. Thank you for the love. When would you want to look at your woman in the eye and tell her that? Hey. Why would you look at your wife in the eye and say, by the way, if it was not for me, you'd be dead somewhere? Guy, hello.
Hey, Mina, how are you?
Hi, good morning, my dear.
Good morning. This is Mary.
Yes, Mary.
I wanted to contribute. I think I got the motion right.
Yes,
about men who
remind their women. Yes.
Yes. Do you know, people need to know, so maybe that would be your purpose in life, to remove women from where they are and take them to a certain level.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So somebody should not feel so proud. I mean, what will happen to women who have helped so many men out here, and we don't keep bragging about it?
That is true.
Yeah, I think people should ask themselves about this aspect of self-fulfillment. You know, I think it's always good when you help somebody, you should have that feeling of, self-fulfillment. You know, you're proud you did something.
Yeah.
You're not reminding somebody. It is only God who is supposed to remind you, not a mere human being. Because even you can, that specific person who's reminding their woman, alimitoa wapi, hata yeye anaweza akakuwa that same position.
Have you ever been reminded?
Well, luckily, no, I haven't. But I have helped a couple of men out here. I'm happy that I did.
And you're happy
nobody
that...
Yes. Nobody should remind a woman that kama si mimi ungekuwa wapi. When yeye ni Mungu.
When you say helped, like you gave them like how much?
Maybe it could even be a job. I can't even remember because I'm the kind of person who does things and I forget I ever did. And until I meet that person and they're like, actually, you know, Mary, you really helped me. I'm like, how? Remind me.
Wow.
You know, we should have that thing of helping, you know, tenda wema.
Nenda zako.
Not reminding. Yes.
Amen. Amen.
Yes. Let us leave God. Let us leave that to God.
Amen.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sina hiyo nguvu ya kwenda. Tenda wema tutakuambia. Tuna hiyo nguvu. Ni kama hiyo atupigwa kofi uonyeshe.
Huyo amesaidia wanaume.
Angekuwa shatangaza. Kwa gazeti ungeiona hapa the Star front page. You know, but then we need to talk about that. Ladies who really honestly have helped men. Hivi ukaona hivi amekusaidia mpaka umejenga gorofa. I mean, men do that all the time. Hadi nilimsaidia akatoka from zero.
You think there are no women like that?
I'm waiting. We are waiting to hear. We are waiting to see them.
Ebu have the final word. Close our discussion though. Hey.
Ma asingeoa bibi yangu. Angekuwa somewhere in Mariendene. A place called Mariendene in Makueni.
If you did not marry her?
I picked her. I always tell her that.
You always
and
tell her that?
Yeah, and she admits.
What are you telling her that for? Do you know where I picked you from?
Because the kind of life she's living. Kama singemchukua angekuwa naishi mahali na kase. Uko Mariendene, kasema mchanga, uko tu uko kwa ndani ya kichaka. I changed her life.
And you remind her?
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Ravi Jones utasema it's tenda wema pewa tako. Akiangai. So, Anjenge is saying, why shout where you took her from? It was your decision to do so. Now that you've said that your wife would be nothing, what do you want us to do? Hey. I can't get over that guy. Anjenge is saying, this man will always dharau you. If you depend on him for anything, kuisha wewe. Hamida Kroman, good morning, Hamida, saying, dear man, you dare do that to a woman with self-confidence, you'll regret why you met her in the first place. Sami Morambi, you're asking, have you ever seen a woman's behavior who earns more than her man? Very painful, seeing the treatment they serve out to their men. So ladies, men are here bragging how they took you from nowhere, how you'd be probably married to a beggar with one leg. Kiangai. How to find a word? Hello?
Maina. Kuna msena nilimpenda sana Maina. Kabisa, ushaikupenda ile mtu. Ukamfanyia kila kitu. Lakini baadaye ulipoishiwa na mapato, akakuona ni takataka. Hawa sana achana nao Maina.
Ulimsaidiaje? Hebu niambie vile ulimsaidia.
In terms of financial, kila kitu.
Alafu?
Baadaye alitoroka. Sitaki kusikia story zao tena Maina.
Ulitumia pesa mingi kama ngapi?
Pesa mingi Maina.
Oh my God. Oh my God.